Hello and welcome to the Critically Clueless. Today we are doing a review for Xcom 2. Now this game has been developed by Throughout Interactive. It's currently on the Switch, the PlayStation, the Xbox and the PC, and I think you can actually get this game on your phone as well. Now Xcom 2 is a direct sequel to Xcom Enemy Unknown. And if you've played that game, it is still a turn-based RPG with base building mechanics. In XCOM 2, the Earth has now changed and it's now under control of an alien race. Facing impossible odds, you must rebuild XCOM and ignite a global resistance to reclaim the world and save humanity itself. Now, if you enjoy turn-based combat games, you have probably heard XCOM thrown around a few times. It's kind of the staple for just how good a turn-based game can be. Now, this game did release back in 2016, so it's been out a while, and so you can pick it up for almost nothing. In fact, at time of recording this video, on the 21st of April, this game will be free to download on the Epic Store, and I'm pretty sure there's actually sales going on right now for this game as well. So if you are watching this review at time of release, have a little look-see. You might be able to pick this game up for an absolute steal. And if you're on the fence about whether you should buy this game or not, well, hopefully this review will help make up your mind. Now, as I said before, this is a turn-based RPG, and the idea of this game is to kind of build your squad or pick your squad, and as you go through the game, you will actually earn experience for your squad, being able to level them up and choosing new class abilities as you go. Now, there's a number of different classes that you can actually progress through in this game. You've got Ranger, Grenadier, Specialist, and Sharpshooter, just to name a few. And as I mentioned before, there is a base building mechanic within this game too. When you very first start out, you are pretty much just playing in a shell. You have to manually, very slowly clear out the rooms within your ship, adding in new things. You can also set this for different things as well. So every room has its own purpose. Sometimes you'll have to research bodies that you've collected or weaponry that you've collected. You kind of research it, break it down, and then you're able to use those new weapons or put on that new armor. You can also go down the line of having your own robots in this game too, or your own kind of, humans and aliens spliced psychic soldiers. Honestly, the base building within this game isn't too bad. I wish it was a little bit more extensive, but I do like what I have to kind of play around with. One of the other features I love in this game is the fact that there is permadeath. If you take, your latest super soldier out, you've pumped all those levels into them, you've leveled them up completely maxed out your class, and mistakenly get him killed, him or her killed, well, they're gone. They are dead for the entire game, and you're going to have to go through the process of having multiple people within the game that you can do all these levels with, because unfortunately your soldiers are going to get wounded, and on bad situations they're going to get dead and not make it through the level, and that's going to absolutely suck. So having a good healthy rotation of soldiers as you play through the game is really a top idea. I know some people really don't like permadeath, but I think with XCOM, it's really, really good. I love permadeath. I think if you play it on Iron Man mode as well and get a few of your soldiers kind of killed off, it just adds to your personal story. And talking of personal stories, this game also has a number of different DLCs. The latest DLC was War of the Chosen. It was actually so big it almost became its own game, but it was integrated into XCOM and just adds so much more depth to this game. It's actually crazy the amount of depth in this game, and almost every playthrough you play in this game will be unique because, for instance, the bad guy, the AI that you come up against with War the Chosen changes almost every time. Also, on top of that, you can have soldier bonds. So if two soldiers constantly go into battle together, they will build up a bond. And if one of those two end up dying, the other one will go a little bit crazy because of it. Honestly, I love just how much you can customize this game. I love how much of this game customizes to your own personal playthrough. And it's honestly a massive game. I think currently you can get this game for almost nothing. Like I said, it is on sale and it's been out for a very long time. So you can get it for almost peanuts and it's totally worth the money. If you love turn-based combat type of games, this is the game for you. This has to be as flushed out game as you can get for a turn-based genre. It is kind of one of those lesser genres that doesn't really get the amount of coverage that they deserve, but in XCOM 2, it's a very flushed out game. It's fully voice acted, which is quite nice, and the voice acting itself is actually pretty on point.
It won't be easy, but you're used to that. You did what was needed. Never gave up the fight. You are Xcom. And you're gonna end this.
Like I said, once you start playing this game, even going through deeper into the campaign, you'll realize just how customizable this game is. You get to customize your characters from ground up and have them appear in your roster of choice whenever you go through having to recruit new soldiers as well, which I really quite like. Also, once you complete a campaign, you can actually go through all your customized soldiers, all the soldiers that you've gone through in previous campaigns, and have them reappear in the next campaign as well. Now, I also know that people like value for money, and this is a long game. Yes, it can be completed in 30 odd hours or so. Some extensive campaigns can take a lot longer after that too, but this does have multiple difficulties and it can be ramped up. And if you've ever played an XCOM game before, then you can understand or appreciate just how difficult some XCOM games can actually be. If you turn up the difficulty to this game, just be prepared to lose a lot of characters pretty fast. It can be pretty unforgiving at times. But hey, sometimes what we want is a challenge, and XCOM 2 definitely likes to deliver on that front. Now, this game also has a online multiplayer. You can play with your friends, you can play with randoms, there's ranked mode as well. And you know what? Considering this game is so old, this still sees an online game. You will still be able to find other people wanting to seek out those games, and basically it's a head-to-head. You both have a allotted number of points that you can spend, and with those points you pick through a number of different enemies that you can choose to play. You can pick XCOM actual team members, or you can be the enemy and play as the aliens that you've been shooting and killing and trying to exterminate in the campaign mode. Now, originally, this mode did have a few exploits. Thankfully, the developers have actually taken hold of it, making sure you can't work those exploits so much in online mode, but it is still a lot of fun going up against your friends. A word of warning, however, when it comes to the online mode, when you're going up against your friends or randoms, you do have to have the same version of this game. And there are a few different versions out there as well, so keep an eye on that. I believe there's a deluxe edition, and of course you've got the War of the Chosen edition. If one of you's got the deluxe edition, one of you got the War of the Chosen edition, you may not be compatible, so you're going to have to check to see, what features you actually have added to the game. But it's well worth checking out, and it is a lot of fun to boot. For my final verdict on XCOM 2, I would highly recommend you pick this up if you are a fan of the genre. If it's one you haven't really got into yet, the turn-based combat shooters, this is probably the best game you could get to jump straight into it. The game actually does a pretty good job of, kind of holding your hand and telling you how to play, especially on the lesser difficulties. It can be a little bit forgiving as well, which is nice. And honestly, I would give this game a 9 out of 10. It's just an all-round great game, a lot of fun, absolute value for money right now, and is possibly one of my greatest games I've ever played. But if you stuck to the end of the review, a big thank you to you, and don't forget to comment red banana down below just to confuse all those people that didn't stick to the end of the video or new to the channel. And if you found this video helpful or just entertaining, don't forget to hit that like button and of course subscribe to the channel. It helps the channel out so much, and of course it helps other people find us as well. But until next time, I've been a monk, we've been Critically Clueless, and I'll see you in the next video real soon. Until then, happy gaming.